question would be, how important is this election for Stafford County?
So for Stafford County, coming up, there's two elections that we're talking about. You have the primary, which is on June 23rd, and today, the 16th, is actually the last day to request an absentee ballot. But you can still vote in person on June 23rd. This is the primary, depending on which party you are. If you're supporting the Democratic ticket, there is a Democratic primary for the 1st Congressional District. If you're supporting Republicans, there is a primary for the U.S. Senate seat. But moving past the primary, as we get into November for the general election, it's extremely important that we focus what's on the ballot this year. You have the presidential election, and then you have the congressional election, and those are the only two people you'll be voting for on the ballot. But we also have a major referendum that will be on the ballot in November as well to determine if Virginia is going to create a redistricting committee to handle redistricting for the congressional seats, the House and Senate seats for Virginia. So there's a lot of things on the ballot in November. While it's only 3 options, it's still pretty big.
So it's safe to say that for anyone who hasn't voted, they should exercise their right to vote this election.
This is absolutely the opportune time to get involved. There have been a lot of protests going on in the city of Fredericksburg and in Stafford County. And as the elected official, I've been out there listening. And a lot of people are frustrated with how they're being treated as Black and brown people, as women, as LGBTQ citizens, whatever have you. And so my expression to those people are you paying attention to who's in these elected offices? Are you paying attention to who's running things? And most people fail to realize that here in Virginia, if we're talking about criminal justice reform, it's the State House of Delegates and the State Senate that determine how criminal justice reform is handled. And it's also the State House of Delegates and the State Senate that appoints judges to the benches in our communities. So if you're frustrated with how the judges are passing out judgment, then maybe you should vote for the House of Delegates and the Senate, which is not this year, but still be focused. If you're concerned at how people are getting prosecuted in their communities, you should pay attention to who's the Commonwealth's attorney and when it's time for their reelection.
So this is where I really stress to people that, the information is there, but also knowing that it all starts on your local level. It's not just the federal elections or the nationwide elections that you have to pay attention to, because those laws trickle down, but the laws that directly impact you are the ones that are local and your county level and your board of supervisors level.
Absolutely. When we look at, especially since we live in Stafford County, we are a county government, which means we don't have a mayor. And for the police department, we have a sheriff's office. The sheriff is elected every 4 years. And the board of supervisors are the ones who determine zoning for your area and taxes and local taxes. And so if we're talking about redlining, we want to keep, even though we know that technically it's not supposed to be done, when we look at the board of supervisors, these are the ones who determine which areas are zoned for what. We look at the local board of supervisors. They're the ones that determine which taxes go where and how taxes are assessed in the community.
So this is what I tell, the platform that I use is Urban Flight Foundation. I want to keep the county informed of the different things that are going on, especially with the protests and stuff like that. And I know that the county clerk, all of these things are elections that I've seen, did my research on, I've shared the information. And so I do feel that now more people are more aware of what's going on, and I think they're going to take action. And I see that what you have put to pavement, and that's a stark contrast to what's been done before. So if people paid attention, if they've lived here long enough, they'll know that certain elected officials, you rarely see them, but you're one that we see. And I love that because that shows that you are part of the community, and I appreciate you for that.
Well, I certainly appreciate you. One of the reasons why I ran is because I felt like people who are marginalized, black and brown people,
Mhm.
people who are LGBTQ, just marginalized communities didn't have their representation in Richmond. And so once the rubber hit the road and stuff started getting tough, I couldn't just sit back in my home and say, oh, COVID, I'm scared. I had to get involved. I had to listen and see what the people were frustrated about. As I've been telling the local elected officials, if there are protests in your area, that means there's a group of people who feel like they're not heard, and you need to listen to see what they're talking about.
That is very true. Because I see, like, for our board of supervisors meetings, they happen every first and third Tuesday of the month, and they're actually broadcast live. Not a lot of people knew that. So these are the things that, if you are an elected official or a board of supervisor or anything like that, and you're rarely seen in your district or you're rarely telling people where they can get the information, that's where we do have a disconnect and a problem.
Absolutely.
So, I do feel like you've been doing your part in disseminating information, being a part of the conversation, and I just, it makes more sense that we are informed and we understand. So, you think it's a great help.
Well, thank you. This is just my reasonable service.
But I don't want to keep you long. I know you have a press conference to go to, but I will make sure, because I wanted this to be my initial send out so that people can know that there's an elected official that's fighting for them in the community. We're not looking at party. We're looking at, the party lines or whatever. We're looking at who's serving the community, and you are, you're serving us right now. So this is where the message has
Absolutely.
to start the conversation. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you, Chandra. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.